Live.
We are live. What's up, people? How's everybody doing tonight? With me, as always, I have Mina as my co-host.
Hi, Huntlings.
And our very special guest today, we have Spirit Voices. If you've been living under a rock and you do not know who she is, I'm going to allow her to introduce herself, and you all better go subscribe to her channel. That's not a request.
The link is in the pinned comment at the top.
Hi. Yeah, I'm Spirit Voices. I go by Spirit Voices, Lucy. So whichever one you want to call me. And yeah, I've been a horror narrator since 2018, I believe. And I'm very happy to be here.
Are you having problems?
I'm just making sure I can hear everybody, which I can. All right, so the audio sounds good on their end. Just making sure.
Cool.
Thank you.
All right, so yeah, you've been doing it for how many years did you say? Since 2018?
I believe so. Yeah, I think it was like summer of 2018 because I think I just turned 18.
Oh, nice. I've been watching you for years. Like I remember I found I think I started listening to creepypastas like 2019 whenever I was working the night shift at my job, and I slowly went down the rabbit hole, and you were one of the people that randomly started playing, and I was like, I really like this person's voice.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was gonna say right before we went live, you were literally I see you upload, and I'm like, well, I know what I'm doing.
That's so nice. I like I have YouTubers that do that for me, and it's weird to sort of imagine myself being that YouTuber for someone else. But it's a good feeling. Thank you.
Not a problem. So since you started your channel, have you had any like videos that have really stood out to you? Any that like that scared you, or like one that you read that instantly became one of your favorite stories?
I have a few that have, I don't know about scared me, but have made me like, uncomfortable. Like there's a certain type of horror that I tend to steer away from, and it has to do with like bodily horror and like, visceral horror.
Body gore.
That's the kind of horror that tends to like, yeah, that's the kind of horror that tends to like put me on edge a little bit more.
Oh yeah. Vidith 22 uploaded a video called Black Snow in Alaska, and like the one character got like black snow on his finger, and it started to spread, and then the finger just started to break, and each time he described how the finger broke, I just cringed a little, like, oh no. Oh
exactly.
God, I hate that so much.
Like sometimes I get to a story where it's like I want to read it, but it's just I can't even like say some of the parts of it. Like there was one I did just recently, C9. I like just put that one out like 2 weeks ago, I think, and there was some more visceral stuff in there. For people who haven't listened to it, it's basically like about a bad drug trip, and so it's very like abstract and surreal, and yeah, there were some parts of that I didn't even read all of the lines for some of the sections, to be honest, because I was like, I can't put this on YouTube. I can't do it.
Yeah,
I was
I have
reading.
a writer that I like to. Oh, good, Mia.
I've been looking for a creepypasta for a certain day, and I was reading one, and I'm going, oh, this is perfect. This will work great. And then I got to this one scene, and I said, nope. No.
Happens to the best of us.
Something else next.
Yeah, so I have an author that and he's a good friend, Cat Lionheart, and he'll write some very NSFW stuff. So whenever he's like, "Hey, I want to write you a story," I'm like, "Just make sure it's YouTube appropriate, please."
Exactly. There's like read something for channel, I always have to be like, yes, but like, be warned that if there are certain like there's just some things that I cannot read, and and things that I'm hesitant to put online. So especially when before the YouTube distinction of for kids and not for kids, like before they started having us mark for that, I was way more hesitant to do that stuff before that.
Yeah.
There's
that since that's happened, what was that, Mia?
Was it my first Valentine's? Day? Probably my first Valentine's Day. I did a story by Timothy Duran, and there was this one section in it that I couldn't do on YouTube. Tim, can you give me a sense?
Yeah, I mean that would be something I would have to do if somebody wanted me to read a story really bad for it, and there was like something where they're really gratuitous nudity or something like that. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna have to rework these parts some so they're more YouTube appropriate. If you're okay with that, I'll do it. If not, then I just can't do your story. But I did want to say that Lone Wolf said, I discovered Spirit Voices through her collab on PA's channel with Curious Raven. I'm glad I found her. She's got a great voice for storytelling. So at least my collab did its job and it got somebody over to your channel. Actually, I know you got a few people because Jelly Bean and Ray Beeman went over to your channel too because I kept talking you up.
That's great. Yeah, yep. I do like I like receiving comments on my videos where they're like, "Oh, I came from this narrator," and it's like it's really nice to see that, and that's part of the reason I do collabs, but then also part of the reason I like hosting collabs so that we can do some exchange of listenerships.
Yeah. I was telling everybody, I'm like, I get to do one of my dream collabs, and they're like, "What's that?" I'm like, "I'm working with Spirit Voices." It's funny because everybody else's spirit, like I don't want to say everybody else's, but like a lot of people's like dream collabs are like Mr. Nightmare or Corpse Husband, and I'm just like, nah, I got like attainable collab.
I was gonna say do something achievable.
Like one of my upcoming collabs I'm gonna work with. I'm gonna be working with Creepy Ghost Stories. He's gonna be in one of my videos whenever I get a story with another lead male role, and I'm excited for that because me and Brett have been friends for a while.
Cool, yeah. I mean, I find that like a lot of I don't know, like not necessarily smaller narrators, but like the really big ones are less reachable, I guess. But like in this community, I feel like a lot of narrators are relatively like you can just sort of message them, and most of the time they'll respond to you, even if they don't accept your offer to collab. Like they'll at least respond, and generally they'll be nice about it, at least in my experience.
Yeah, Spirit Voices, PA Nightmares, aka Batman, sent me.
Nice.
Yeah, talk to
the deep voice really sells it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, Dr. Creeps. He has no problem.
I'm the same way though. I definitely. I mean, I think a lot of narrators are because, especially ones where narrating is not their primary job. Like we've all got stuff going on that we just forget.
Yeah, I have a collab with a friend that he's been waiting. Like he hasn't been waiting for a while for me to get it done, but he just messaged me. He's like, "Hey, just want to see what the progress were with those lines," and I'm just like, I just thought to myself, "Oh, I forgot."
I know, I do that too. It's always such like a sinking feeling where someone will message me and they're like, just checking in, and I'm like, oh no.
I'll get them to you this weekend. Hey, Steven, what's going on, buddy?
We haven't that yet. We need to go back
in the house.
We need to go back and say who's in the chat, man. Who's in the chat? We got General.
We got lots of people.
who
We got
recently
my jelly
subscribed
bean
to
and my Ray. They're mine. Sorry.
subscribed to me. So thank you, General. Golden
General's
Fox.
awesome.
Golden Fox Gaming.
Oh,
Yeah, I scrolled all the way back, and you already
And
said
we got-
Jelly Bean. And Filia's listening, but she's not able to be with us today.
yeah.
She is feeling better, though. Yeah, yeet. Evil
Yeah,
Outcast.
yeet.
I don't know if he's actually listening.
What's up,
but
yo?
he popped in for a few minutes. I shouldn't have said that way. Hey, Infinite Psychosis. Lone
Yeah, he
Wolf.
said if he's feeling better, he'll pop back in. We got my boy Steven, aka Possessed Radio.
Yes. And I'm looking to see if I missed anybody.
Ray just had property of PA tattooed on me. Oh, Ray Beeman. I don't know, Spirit Voices. If you ever have like an hour or so to kill, you should go to my channel and listen to A Night's Watchman. It's a story by Ray Beeman. He is a amazing author. Who Ray, you should send some stories. Just send her some stories.
Yeah, send my way. Love getting stories from authors, and actually, I'm looking on my channel now. I have a series, I guess, of stories that to me by author who's a writing class. So like all of her students have sent me stories to read. Was
That
cool.
is so cool.
Yeah, but it's ending soon, so I need more. I need to start looking. I've had like a decent supply for a while now. I need to start looking for my own again.
Yeah, I keep lucking into stories. Like I don't know how this keeps happening, but I keep having like people can just read my entire catalog, and I'm like, I'll do it.
Yeah, same. I get that too. I'm like, oh, really? I mean, sure.
Well, I told you about.
Yeah, I try to do. Sorry, go ahead.
I actually got one of the creepypasta wiki writers to respond to me when I was sending them a note saying I wanted to do one of their stories, and he's like, yeah, just feel free to do anything, and thanks for the heads up, and because you can do anything there because it's CCBYA or CCBYSA, but I still like to let them know, that I'm going to be doing it and so forth. And like, you can do anything I got over there, just let comes out. Relative of smile dog.
Yeah, the creepypasta wiki is definitely interesting. I definitely, there are authors that I have sent message to that just like don't respond at all, and I'm like, oh well, sucks.
And then you go back and you put the
Right.
link in, and the link comes back and says the link shows up in their narrations, and you're like, well, at least they got that.
Right, yeah. Yeah, it's sort of a hit or miss with the creepypasta wiki. I've worked with stories from there for literally my entire narration career. That's where I got my first few, I think. So I'm like familiar with it, and so familiar with the fact that sometimes it doesn't work out.
Yeah. No, Stephen, Filia is in a car right now, but she's listening. Hi, Filia. And
She's going vroom vroom.
she's going boom, boom, boom. And yeah, she'll be back with us hopefully if everything goes right next week. Well, no, we won't have a show next week. We've got the next 2 weeks off, guys.
Oh, we will not. Yeah, spoil. Just heads up, everyone. We're not having a show for the next 2 weeks. Next week, I'm not going to be around because I'm going to a haunted attraction with the fam. And then the 30th, we decided not to have a show because of HorrorCon, and just everybody putting out the 13 days of Halloween. It just would not be a. I don't think anybody's would really be around that the 30th. So, but we will be back in November. Fun times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think all of us are involved in HorrorCon. At least the Midnight Research storytelling group at night on HorrorCon. Both me and Filia and PA. That's not both, is it? We're all kind of doing a story.
Yeah, both me yeah, we're all part of it, and CCG, and we're all. I'm gonna be headlining it by just sheer mistake. I was originally supposed to go another day. I talked to Midnight Research, and he moved me and Mia, and then my sister changed the date on me. So it was. We're not the man to make change it back. We're just gonna stick with how it is.
Yeah.
So
I gave my story today. He's happy. You all won't be.
yeah, I gave him my story the other. Well, I gave him. It's the most fun title ever for a hardware. Joe and Puffy Shop. Oh,
Cutest.
It's literally pumpkin spice coffee meets bath salts.
And I think you should really go into writing advertising.
Tell ya.
All these taglines you're giving me is.
Yeah, he's got them going.
Oh, I'm good with the clever little lines.
Is the sound?
You should write me a channel or something.
Is the sound doing bit eyes? Maybe not. I don't know. They said it was cracking up a bit. And I
hope it's not.
It's
Oh no.
It's like I see the little wheel pop up on occasion. I just thought it was my internet being a shit, but I was wrong.
You were wrong.
Sorry, everybody. YouTube gods have decided they don't like us.
They've been having problems
Dear
all
YouTube
week,
gods.
really.
I got cursed.
Dear YouTube gods,
It's
please
not
get your shit together. Amen.
The audio is.
I just
Hmm.
I just made it prior to the YouTube gods, so let's see if that works. Yeah, the sound is bad, guys. I know. I listened to it for a second.
Oh, weird. Yeah, I just listened to it too. Why is it doing that?
I don't know. Here we go. We're all listening to it, trying to figure out what's going on. What's going on here? I mean,
it would figure an interview like this interview. I've been waiting for it for like months, and I'm just like, and now YouTube's like, nah, you don't get what you want. I'm like, I get what I want.
let's see here. I'm trying to do a couple things, see if I can clean it up a bit while we talk. Okay, Golden Fox Gaming. Yeah, you might refreshing it might help. I'm not sure. I'm gonna try that.
Maybe.
I'm gonna try that myself. Bless you.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like we can all hear each other.
Yeah.
Well, but the stream is not translating it.
I didn't know what's going on today. Does anyone have a goat for sacrifice?
I mean, I know someone who goes by goat. We can sacrifice him. It'll still be the same thing.
Oh my goodness, Ray! It might work.
I refreshed the stream, and now I can't hear anything.
Oh,
there it is.
Is it because nobody was saying anything? Is that it? I mean,
No. Like the sound did not come back. I turned it up to see. Refreshing did seem to help.
okay. So guys, you heard that? Refreshing did seem to help.
Yeah, refreshing did seem to help. It hasn't like lagged at all since I refreshed it. It did take a minute for the sound to come back on though. Like I had the volume up, and I'm like, why is it dead silent? For
Well, I mean, we all kind of were listening to this stream, if not talking.
Yeah.
No, I was listening to it while like I knew we were talking. And I'm like, there's no music, no nothing, and then all of a sudden it just came back to life at once. I'm like, oh, everything's there.
Yeah, I can't fix YouTube from here, unfortunately.
So
have you thought of trying RPA?
Just try harder. Just do better.
if I try any harder, the world might implode upon itself because I'm just that fucking good. Okay, I'm just that perfect. So
it would be too much.
It would.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Yeah, it's sounding like I'm just sort of tuned in as well. It sounds better, I think. I don't know. Maybe it's just a weird like Discord problem or something.
Okay, Jellybean says it sounds better now. Infinite says we need a human sacrifice instead.
Well, like I said, I know a human that goes by the name Goat. We sacrifice him. We're sacrificing a goat and a human.
I was going to say
Double
that's two. Yeah, it's two birds with one stone.
I'm efficient at what I do, guys. Don't worry.
Human sacrifice.
Some might say a little too
tries
efficient.
harder. It's what ties you two together. Oh my goodness.
PA's like the generator.
And Lone Wolf wants the leg. I don't know what you want to do with the leg, but I'm glad it's not going to be my leg.
That's all that matters.
Yeah. So, and I think we've talked about
Hopefully-
this before, Lucy. What brought you into horror?
Yeah. Oh gosh. I mean, I listened to horror for a while before I actually started narrating. You know, oh gosh, I listened to like true like quote true horror stories. Like Darkness Prevails was like one of the narrators that I listened to a lot. Like that kind of genre. So I was already sort of interested in it before narrating, and I guess that came from my interest in like true crime stuff. And you know, I always just like frequented that kind of section of YouTube. But I was like young enough, and I didn't have any equipment that I was like, well, you know, like I thought about doing my own stuff before, but I was like, you know, I don't have any experience. I don't have any equipment. I don't even know if my voice is going to sound good. So I'm just not going to try it. And so I did that. I thought that way for like a while. And then, I don't know, just something about when I was 18 in the summer. I guess I was probably bored. It was like right before I was going to college. And I was just bored enough that I was like, well, you know, maybe I'll try it this time and see where it goes. I guess I fell into the pitfall of like, well, I'm not busy right now, which means I won't be busy forever. And so I bought a very cheap microphone off Amazon. We were talking about that before as well. Yeah. And I just sort of I think my idea was like, I don't really care if no one listens to this. I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna put it out there and do it for as long as it keeps being fun. And then if something happens, great. And if something doesn't happen, then I'll just stop and I won't have lost anything. So that was sort of the idea, I guess.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I've heard and kind of believe on my own about YouTube. If you're not doing it for you, if you're not enjoying it for yourself, why are you? Because you've got to like it. or it's not worth doing.
Are you still there with me?
Yeah, it's really sort of a personal interesting. I mean, at some point it got overwhelming for me. And I did stop doing it for a little bit. I was gone for I think like 8 or 9 months. Not intentionally. I just, it just kind of got overwhelming, and I was like, I'm gonna take a small break. And did on accident into a very big break. And then I just came back like a couple months ago, and it is fun for me. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't be doing it. But that was just sort of an opener for me into like, well, okay, maybe I don't have to do this all the time. I don't have to be so hard on myself about it, because I'm a perfectionist. I'm like that with everything that I do, and so I was just kind of being too hard on myself. About it, just trying to enforce like these deadlines that didn't exist upon myself, and it was just like too much. So I've been more relaxed since I came back. And
Cool.
that's helped a lot.
Hey, Furberries. Furberries has
What's
joined
going
us.
on for Furberries is here. So I every time he joins, I have to fight the urge to call him Furbies because I'm dyslexic, and that's what I saw the first time I saw his name.
Yeah, when Mia started saying it, that's what I kind of thought. That's where I thought the word was going. But
See, I'm not the only one. God, now that we have similar taste in shows, we think alike.
yes,
Are you
Are we
sure you
best
guys
friends?
aren't?
I think
basically
that's
the
a
same
fair-
person.
I think you're twins.
I think we're best
separated at birth.
friends now, Lucy. I think that's just how it works. Right?
Exactly.
All right. Let's see. Do. Yeah. I don't know how to say that one. Hi. Stopping by at a
Let me say
cousin's
that.
wedding.
DeQuester is how.
DeQuester. Okay. I wasn't sure how to say that one. Hi, DeQuester.
That's how I've always pronounced it. I hope I'm not wrong.
Class buffering circle. Let's.
I always
not.
read it in my head. I don't even know if I've said it out loud.
I said it how it looks like it should be pronounced. So,
And the thing is that it breaks some of those rules that we learned when we first school. Like, Q is always followed by U.
Exactly.
But I've run into other words.
You heard it here first.
I don't know I don't know English or any of that fancy stuff. I just write words on paper, send it to my sister, and say, "Edit my awful shit." And then my sister's like, and I always ask her, I'm like, "How many mistakes did you find?" She's like, so many.
No, she really just said, "I'm not going to tell you because I lost count."
I'm not going to tell you. I'm sparing you.
No, actually, I've read some of his raw stuff. He's not bad. He's gotten better.
See, he said it's just Dexter. That's what I thought.
Yeah. Well,
Dexter.
But I was afraid to say it out loud and to be wrong.
See, you were right, and I was wrong, and that's fine. I took a shot. No one can take that away from me. I tried.
Shot over the bow. A shot right over the bow.
Dequister. I don't know. I want to pronounce the Q, but it's not.
Right.
It's not there.
I'm dequesting for people who know how to pronounce my
We have
BS
renamed
name.
them.
Is it? Yes, please. We do want questions from the chat. Feel free to ask questions, Golden Fox.
Anyone can ask me anything.
Golden is like, is it okay to ask questions? And then Ray's like, is that a question?
That was your one question. Everyone gets one, and that was it.
Are we Spider-Man from Family Guy now? Well, thanks, Spider-Man. Everybody gets one.
Yes, exactly.
Oh my goodness.
Now you've wasted it. Now you can't ask
Questionable
another
at
one.
best.
Right? Wouldn't that be funny? Is every time somebody's like, "Can I ask you a question?" Like you just did, and then they just walk away.
I don't know. Can you? That's what I used to say to my kids.
I don't know.
And that was your question.
Right? And then we're stuck in an infinite loop of, I don't know. Can I? I don't know. Can you?
Yeah,
This conversation's getting nowhere fast.
My kids would come up and they're like, "Mom, can I ask a question?" And I don't know, can you? Mom. Yes.
May I ask you a question?
Okay, I don't know why we're bringing May into this. What did she do?
Hey, that was a good movie.
I don't know, that's what my mom always said.
Did y'all ever see that movie, May?
I don't think so.
It's about a girl who's building she's building a friend of body parts.
Ooh, fun.
May is her friend, who she built out of body parts of other girls. It's a good movie.
Yeah. You guys gotta stop asking me if I've seen movies, because the answer is usually no.
Well, usually they are for me too. Hey, there's the Mad Chatter.
Hey, what's up, Mad Chatter?
How you doing, Mad Chatter?
Go on, brother.
Oh yay! Yeah, Mad Chatter commented on my tweet earlier, so I was gonna be.
He says you're one of the first people who talked to him when he first started making horror content. Let me turn that around on the other side. He was one of the first people who responded back to me when I started. Okay, are we doing this again? We're doing this again. What the fuck is up with our internet today? And that time we lost it. See, I've got half of a stream. I'm getting half of a stream. It doesn't make any sense. Hello? Do you have internet? Okay, I'm trying, guys. Hold on. Silent. Yeah, I know. I can't do anything about it because I can't get in.
Discrepancy. I still can't
Are
hear.
you there? Hello?
Hi, Mia.
Okay.
I can hear me. Yeah, I'm.
They all
Don't
got
think-
unplugged by the Matrix. Yeah. Trust me. I'm like, what's going on here? It's restarting. What the hell?
Oh no. Maybe it randomly triggered an update or something.
And I don't hear anything from this stream. I have the volume whole way up and nothing's happening.
Give it a moment.
Yeah, I'm waiting for it to catch up.
Has to catch up with us. No smoke. This one out.
It is a spirit. It's a Spirit Voices
Oh.
video.
Oh
Also,
yeah, someone asked me what my favorite video was.
Ah.
I was answering the question, then we realized that nobody could hear us. I was like, oh well.
Yeah, I even opened up my phone and.
Oh, I can hear.
How can you?
Yay.
Can you hear us? Hello.
Hello? Hello? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me
There
now?
it is.
Okay,
Sound.
yes. Okay, I think they can hear. Oh, thank gosh.
Oh,
Thank gosh. Thank God.
I
I
think
just tried
today
to
is.
censor myself.
I think today is just not. This has not been a good day
Yeah.
for me, and I can't blame anything except tomorrow. YouTube is updating. Oh,
Bloody hell,
that
YouTube.
makes a
Is
whole.
that what's happening?
Thank you, YouTube.
Ah. YouTube
Ray
hates
says.
me specifically.
YouTube is updating. So thank you, YouTube. Thank you. YouTube, you can never mind. I can't say that. Oh, we're sorry,
Yeah, I'm listening
guys.
to the stream
Only
right now, and
CP sounds
I
you
think
hear.
we're
I'm
good.
sorry, Infinite.
Tentatively, say that we're good.
But
we're gonna cross our fingers.
you want to tell them your favorite video again? That way they can go check it out.
Yes. I was answering Possessed Radio, who said, I don't know how much of this came through when it stopped being able to hear us, but yes, Possessed Radio asked what my favorite video was, and then where do babies come from? And I said I was going to answer those questions in order. So my favorite video, I was telling apparently just PA. There was a video that I did with Romnex, and right, I was saying that I'm a perfectionist, as I said, and I'm always worried that like the video that I just put out is like my quote like best video. Like every time I put out a new one, I'm like, well, the ones before it were terrible. This is my best one because it's the most recent. So I do like my most recent one, which was beta test. But my favorite one to perform was Bottom of the Ninth. It was a story I did with Romnex, and it's not necessarily scary, I guess. Like I can send that one to my friends who don't even like horror. But it was just really fun and really performative, and I got to be really creative with it. I did like it's like a baseball themed episode, and I don't know anything about sports, so it's one of my favorites. I don't know anything about sports. I had some people commenting like I was worried for a second that it was going to be a sports episode, but it was really fun. But I bought like a $5 sports intro like kind of thing to make it look like a sports channel or whatever. Like it was really fun. And I had to find a lot of crowd sound effects for it. So yeah, that one, I don't know about best video, but that might be one of my favorite ones. Romnex did great too.
Romnex always does great.
She does. She's so good. Yeah, we had a pretty good, in my opinion, we had a pretty good dynamic on that video. So, yeah, and then PA was talking about no smoking, which is the first one it wasn't the first one, but one of the first ones I've done since I've come back. And PA was on it. So yes, please check that out because it's very good. And the story is just great too. And yeah, so I guess and then where do babies come from? So I can't give all the details on that. All I can say is aliens. And yeah, that's really it. I think if I say any more than that, someone will abduct me in the middle of this podcast. So
the mommy and the alien, they kiss, and then the saliva impregnates the mommy alien, and then one day when she's having a poo, an egg comes out, and that's where humans come from.
Someone will be over to abduct you shortly, PA. just so you know.
It's happened. It's happened before.
It's not me, or it's not you. It's me. But
it's fine. We'll just, me and the aliens will have a few shots. They'll go take their UFO and get a UDUI because unidentified flying object driving intoxicated. So UDUI.
Sure.
We'll be good.
So
as you do.
Golden Fox asks a question for all three of us. Did anything stump you guys in a narration, like in regards to criticism, nerves, etc.? Nerves. If you listen to The Diner. Nerves.
What was the question again?
Did anything stump you guys in narration, like in regards to criticism, nerves, etc.? I have to add to that though, because I think also all parts of Beautiful Nightmares book too was
So
nerves.
did so you said did anything stump me like?
It says anything stump you guys in narration, like something in regards of criticism, nerves, etc. I'm thinking maybe it's scared you more than you couldn't do it, something like that.
Nothing scared me. I just my big stumbling block is apparently there's times where I sound like a robot when I read, and that's because um being the opposite of an empath, I have a tendency to have a harder time of expressing certain emotions such as sadness, etc. So I try, but it still comes off a little bit robotic. Apparently I'm getting better, but that's been like my biggest stumbling block in narration is trying to get the inflection in my voice.
Yeah, I think that definitely just in general takes practice. Like you're
Hmm.
definitely not the only one who
No.
struggles with that. Um, like I mean, I've definitely struggled with that. I've only just recently um started feeling like I can. To be fair, when I first started narrating, and for a few years, I guess really it was only this year that I've felt more comfortable doing it because um, I've always narrated like where other people can hear me. Like when I first started narrating, I was living with my mom, and so my mom or my siblings could hear me because there's not really much soundproofing in our house. And then when I went to college, like I recorded in a library because there were study rooms that I could rent out and just go by myself and record in there. And so there were other people on the same floor as me who I don't know if they could hear me, but I always felt like they could. Um, or I've had roommates. Like there's always been someone who can hear me. So that definitely makes me nervous. That has always like sort of I feel like hindered my narration style a little bit. Um, just the anxiety of like I can't yell too loud or express too much emotion because people will think there's something wrong with me or
Yeah.
you know like I can't scream this or I can't say this too loud or I'm gonna get someone's gonna report me or something. I don't know. So really just this year, like I live in an apartment right now and I do have roommates, but like our class schedule works out that sometimes I get to come home early and they're not back from classes yet and I can record just by myself in my room and I feel like I've been able to express way more emotion doing that than I can normally. So that's
Yeah.
been a nice change uh,
I
from where I have been before.
I remember there was a story I was recording and it required me to scream. And I was really into the story and I screamed as loud as I could. And it was like a guttural scream. And I looked at the clock and it was like 3 a.m. I'm like, holy fuck, I
Oh
want to
no!
wake anybody up because it was loud. And I just waited to hear somebody yell at me and nobody got up and did anything. And I'm like, well, dodged a bullet there.
It's like hello 911. I think this guy's being murdered in the next place over.
Well, luckily for me, I don't have neighbors aren't that close to me, so they couldn't hear it. I was just worried about waking somebody up in my house.
Yeah, yeah. Oh gosh, my family would have been upset. My mom is a very light sleeper, and so I definitely cannot be recording too late at night when I'm at home, living with her. So
Hmm.
that's always an issue as well. Like just timing. Like I have to be on her schedule as well as my own schedule.
Yeah,
Um,
and a lot of people know it's my like where I live currently is like there's a busy road right outside my house, so I can only
yes.
record between like the hours of midnight and 4 a.m. And so it's dependent upon when my sister and her fiance go to bed. So I'm sitting here going, go to bed, go to bed, go to bed. And then they finally go to bed like 1 or 2 in the morning. I'm like, I have 2 hours to record. And I'm like, okay, this is all I have. This is all the time I have. That's why I had to start my 13 days of Halloween like almost an entire month early because there's no way I was going to get it done in October.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, that's fair.
Okay. Hello, Christine. And
hi, Christine.
Hello, Triumphant Rat 629, who says,
Glad you
"My
said
Lady
that.
Lucy."
Hello. Welcome. You've missed the technical difficulties and jumped straight into the banter.
You've missed the technical difficulty portion of the stream, but you're here in time for the good part of the stream, I suppose, because we're not having technical difficulties currently.
Currently.
You're welcome, Golden Fox.
The YouTube gods have heard my pleas and have decided to bless us for the time being. I don't know how long that blessing will last.
No. Let's see. I don't see other than the what alien's been hugging your. Don't give me that BS, Ripley. Ray.
Oh, that's a good question. It's spooky season. What's your favorite horror movie, Lucy?
Okay, if you had asked me that a year ago, or even half a year ago, I would not have had a good answer because I gotta be completely honest, and I've said this I got interviewed like a year and a half ago, and they were horrified to hear this. I don't really watch horror movies that much. Mostly just because I'm not like that big of a movie watcher in general, and I haven't seen a lot of classic stuff. But over the summer, I was taking summer classes and I needed an elective class. So I actually took an English class that was about horror movies. So I was, I was going to say forced, but I did sign up for that class. I did sign up for it intentionally, so I guess not really. But yes, for that class, I had to read some horror things and watch some horror movies. So now I can say I've seen a couple. And of those, I think my favorite was The Shining.
Oh, nice.
The original?
Yes. I really liked, I think so anyway. I really liked The Shining. Mostly because we had to analyze like all the movies for the class, and so the Shining had some of my favorite analysis to it. Like it was just very interesting the way that it was set up and everything like that. So I really did like that movie. I also just recently saw The Conjuring, and that was pretty good too. But yeah, so I guess I'd have to say The Shining if I had to pick one.
I find it still interesting that because of the changes that were made by Kubrick and that weren't in the book, Stephen King does not like the original Shining. Which I recently watched that again, and yeah, it's definitely a classic. The little tidbits that you think about afterwards when you've watched something like that more than once, like the space shuttle on the deck in the office at the beginning. The fact that the "Here Johnny" line was a reference to Johnny Carson and was totally ad-libbed.
That's great though.
The part where Shelley Duvall has got the bat in her hand and she's on the stairs and she's don't come near me, don't come near me, you know. Kubrick had her terrorized at that point.
You keep saying Kubrick. You keep saying Kubrick, and all I can think of is Cobra Kai.
Oh my god. But yeah, he terrorized her in that movie. In the making of that movie, she said she'd never work with him again, ever.
Oh, wow.
And she hasn't actually. But yeah, she was literally the crying and the panic in her face when she's doing that scene. That's real, because she was at that point with, you know, what he was doing to her offset. Jeez. So
wow, yeah, I did not know that.
Yeah, there's a bunch of things like that. Just
dark history behind some of those classic movies.
Yeah, like the original Bela Lugosi Dracula, and I had to say the original. I did play vampires more than once, but he could not speak English when he made that movie, and
Oh, interesting.
he had to phonetically, phonetically learn his lines
Wow. That
and
must have been really
memorize.
hard.
So, Triumph said he loved they love The Thing and Alien. Alien, like Alien 1, 2, and I even had 3 into there, are like it's like my favorite horror series ever. Especially the first Alien, because that scene where like the alien just bursts out of that guy's chest, and all the reaction from everybody is like genuine. They did not know that an alien was gonna burst out of this guy's chest.
Yeah.
So that fear and terror is freaking real, and it sells that scene so well.
That's awesome. Yeah, I did see Alien was one of the movies I saw for that class as well. And yeah, I hadn't seen that movie before, and it was I think that was one of the scenes I had to look at when we were analyzing it. And that was very good.
Ridley Scott knows what he's doing when he's making like sci-fi horror.
Yeah.
Let's see, the Nevermore Ray asks, if I was to ask one question, what would it be and why?
I got this. You would ask me to do the Batman voice because you love it. So here you go. I'm Batman. I got this.
Or you would ask, if I were to ask one question, what would it be and why?
Infinite Psychosis says, if you guys got stuck in my mind, what's the first thing you would do? Go through all your nightmares.
Ooh, that's... I would be a little bit afraid of that, but...
I would snap my fingers and get back to my realm, because screw that. I ain't living in your brain. I watched one of your videos. I ain't staying there. It's too noisy.
I didn't know that, Triumph Rat. I did not know that. I do know that the writer of the Abyss, when they gave the book to because the book was actually written after the script, believe it or not. That's one of the ones that went backwards.
Nice.
When they gave the book to the cast to read about their own characters, they understood their characters and where they were going better than they did from reading the script, which is kind of interesting. Yes, phonetically. John Hurt and the crew were the only ones that knew about, that's the alien coming out of the chest.
Yeah. Nobody else was like, everyone's, what the fuck's going on? And I'm just like, this is pretty epic.
That was awesome.
I actually went to watch The Shining, to watch it right before I watched Dr. Sleep. And the bad thing about it is, I know I made it all the way through Dr. Sleep, but I don't remember. There wasn't anything that really stuck out in that movie to me. Is that sad?
In Dr. Sleep?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've seen that one.
That's the one that it's like 30 years after The Shining and the little boy is grown up.
Oh, interesting. I haven't seen that one.
Yeah. And actually King liked that one because it referenced, it was closer to the source material. And yeah, he liked miniseries more than he liked the Stanley Kubrick version of The Shining. But he liked the Dr. Sleep actually gave echoes back to the original movie and the book, bringing all three together.
Interesting.
So it was. The thing is, it just did not. It didn't stay with me. I mean, I sit here and I think, and I can think of it. I can remember parts of it, but it didn't stick with me. A little too ironic for you, Ray.
I gotta say though, for me, most movies do not stick with me. It's like sort of a running joke with my friends that I have to watch not just movies, but like just all forms of media, like TV shows and stuff. I have to watch them at least twice before I can even sort of recap what happened. My memory is very bad.
I feel that somebody was like, so what was that? What was the story you just recorded about? And I'm like, I don't remember. They're like, what? I'm like, I don't remember. I read.
I don't know.
They're like, you just finished recording it. I'm like, I still don't remember.
Stories I can do a little better. I have something called aphantasia, so I can't actually like visualize things mentally. And so with TV, I think that like hinders my ability to remember like TV shows and movies and stuff. Like I just can't recall any of the visuals. So I like can maybe get some plot stuff, but like I have to watch it multiple times for me to even sort of get past the like just processing point and like actually start telling you what happened.
That's crazy. Like I'm the opposite. When I'm reading a book or anything, it's generally watching a movie in my brain. But there's just like they'll ask me what story I read, and I'm like, which one? And they're like, this one. And I'm like, I can tell you the bare bones a little plot, but that's about it right now. And then I'll start reading it, and then it all just flood back to my brain.
We've got a Roman vote of approval. If you guys have not liked the stream, please go like the stream. Just saying.
They probably disliked it through all the technical difficulty.
Yeah, probably. If you woke up a horror movie, how would you handle it?
Oh, guys, I would be the first one to die. I just know it. I know it.
Well, here's the thing. Like, if we're all three in the same horror movie, what's gonna happen is we're gonna let the other people walk in. We're just gonna drive away in the car, and then the movie's gonna end.
That's true. We know enough of the horror cliches that like when they start happening, we just leave. We wouldn't
exactly.
I was watching The Conjuring. I just watched it yesterday. I hadn't seen it before, and like all these weird ghost and demonic occurrences started happening, and I was texting my friend. We were watching it on like the Netflix party thing. I was texting him, and I was like, why aren't they just leaving? Like after the first sign of ghost activity, I would just be gone. Like I understand their reason was like financially they couldn't resell the house, and I was just like I would just leave. I don't care. I would just leave. I would be gone. None of that would have happened to me. I would have left.
So I have to ask if you've ever seen The House on Haunted Hill.
No. I read the book for that horror class, but I haven't seen it. No.
I think you're probably thinking of the other one, the Shelley Long. Is that her name?
I don't know. They're anyway, all similar titles.
But I watched. I'm a sick puppy. Okay, guys. I watched the Vincent Price version of The House on Haunted Hill, and then I watched the 1990-something remake, which they did change quite a bit, but it was still the same concept with some of the same stuff. And then they've made a sequel to that remake, which didn't exist for the first one. And in that sequel, at one point, one of the guys say, okay, you two go that way, you two go that way, and you two go that way. And the one guy says, now, wait a minute. Did you seriously just say, let's split up in a haunted house? And I was like, yes, that's me. That's
exactly. Me. And I just looked it up. It's Shirley Jackson.
Shirley Jackson,
so,
yeah.
Haunting of Hill House. That's what I was thinking of.
So I think Jellybean was talking to you when she said, so you'd be I'll be a B. So you'd be be right back character. And and I was like, I'd be a bye bitch, I'm out of here and gonna live character. We'd walk in, like we'd get to the haunted house, they'd open the door and I'd hear, get out. And I'm like, well, I wasn't even in, so you're not talking to me. And I'm in the car, I'm like, we're leaving. we're not.
I'd be a be back never character. Is
Right,
what you're saying.
Ray, I've been saying that for years, so that's not a new one for me.
Right? And they'd be like, honk, honk. I'm like, get in the car if you want to come with me. They're like, where are you going? I'm like, however far this tank of gas will take me from that house.
See, the thing that I said, the reason I brought up the house on Haunted Hill is it really starts happening until the house goes on lockdown. Once they're locked in the house, the chandelier falls and things really start happening. So
I see.
So
like if we're trapped there.
Yeah. And they got trapped there, and when they got trapped, the one in the sequel one, they're like, we got to go stop the lockdown mechanism. Well, they go in there and then they start shooting it, and it stops. And I'm like, you really think that's going to stop it?
Right.
Seriously. And
yeah,
Ray, that's how I was with The Matrix. I kept falling asleep. I get 5 minutes in and fall asleep. My husband had me watching 5 minutes a night to get through the whole movie.
Determined.
For me, that the movie that I just would watch and always fall asleep to is Sixth Sense. I've never seen that movie because I've just never been able to fall asleep. I've seen enough of it to be like where I've seen the beginning, the middle, and the end, but I can never stay awake for the entire movie. It's just so boring.
Did the fact that Obi-Wan had the high ground matter, and should Anakin have not tried it? Yes, it mattered, and Anakin should not have tried it. Next.
Anakin should have jumped to the side just a little bit and slid under his legs. If he would have done that, he would have been golden.
Okay, but if you're in the story, the rules of that, you fall under the rules of that horror story. Yeah, and if you look at the Scream movies, they kind of go on that premise.
I like the Scream movies because they pretty much mock the cliches of the horror movie, and it's just the breaking of the third wall is great.
Oh, Steven, who's your favorite narrator, and why is it Possessed Radio?
and then Jelly being laughed at him, and I'm like, well, it's not PR for Jelly, it's PA. And then she's like, yes, PA. See, I'm Jelly Bean's favorite.
They admitted it right there. There were witnesses and everything.
Yeah, I know, Ray. I look, I say things.
I have a question about The Matrix. What would happen if you would have just taken both pills? Just let them like, just taking both pills. What would have happened?
I don't know.
I have medication anxiety, so I would have taken neither.
I have don't trust shit from random strangers anxiety, so I would have not taken either.
Okay, that's fair.
Yes, Ray. Obi-Wan and Anakin both had both their powers, but that's beside the point.
This chat is all over the place.
And Ray, PA has learned this in the 3 years we've known each other. God, has it been that long? I will say things and not even realize how they sound because to me they're expressing what I'm trying to say. And then people take a context and I'm like, oh my God, did I really say that?
I do that too, though. Happens to the best of us. I just don't really think before I speak is the thing.
Well, no, I'll think what I'm saying, but I'm like, once you're locked into it, you can't really get out. And then what does that sound like? I mean,
there's been times on Discord, and one of my personal favorite is somebody will be saying stuff. Hey, what's up, Derek?
Hey, Derek.
And I won't even be paying attention to the conversation, but then I'll hear something that will just pull me right back into the conversation. Like, for example, somebody said it's brown and sticky and gets everywhere, and I didn't even think about what I was about to say, and then it just came out. What, like your mom? And then everybody erupts in laughter.
Oh no!
And like everybody erupted in laughter. I'm like, what I say? And they're like, what do you mean? What did you say? I'm like, what did I say? I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, we're old possessed radio. We're so old, Steven. I'm old enough to be your mama. Not really, but
Uh,
tomorrow's my birthday. Don't talk about age.
Oh, happy early birthday.
Thank you.
call me old again, Steven, and I'm gonna put my foot up in your ass and break it off.
Jeez.
And Derek, I
Hmm.
listened to your newest videos. They're really popping. If you all missed the one that he did with, he did with Danny, you guys need to go watch that. That was really, really good. I really like. You can actually. It's not really geared towards narrators per se, because he's how to tell a scary story. But if it does give the elements of what things you kind of need, and if you're going to make up a scary story to tell around a fire or something like that, it's got the way you got to do it, man. I mean, there are some really good points in there.
Yeah,
And
everybody, if you haven't checked out Derek, please do so. He's great. He's a great guy and a great narrator.
But yeah, I really enjoyed that video, and I could tell they had fun doing it, which is the whole point of collabs, guys. Have fun.
Exactly.
I really like doing collabs with people, but my personal favorite collab I think is the one that I did with Vidith, because I hate my voice, but when you line me and Vidith's voices up together, it that they sound good together. They blend well together, and it became it became my favorite collab.
That's awesome. Yeah, like finding the narrator that you just, I don't know, like click the most with, I guess.
Yeah, like and the same thing happened with my voice and yours. I was listening to them back to back, and I'm like, I like this. This sounds good.
Yeah, I've done the same thing with I did the same thing when I first started to collabing with the Dark Somnium, because he knew how to edit my voice to make it sound good. So I was listening to like Because You Are My Baby, for example, and I was like, wow, he made me sound good. He brought my low quality microphone up so much.
Well, your low quality microphone,
Low quality
when I listen to it, you whatever you do, whatever magic you work, your audio quality is some of the best.
Thank you. I mean, I guess I should say that was back when I had my $10 microphone, which I was still okay. I think it was definitely good to start out with, but now that I have the one that I have now, just comparatively, I listen to my older videos and I'm like, oh, I can't listen to that.
Yeah, I listened to I was just like, I haven't progressed any. Everybody's lying to me, and I went and listened to my first video, and I went and listened to part of my last video, and I'm like, yeah, that's much better.
I did the same thing. I'm like, wow, there's actually so much of a difference.
How do I sound professionalist?
I know, my voice, I don't even know, I didn't consciously make my voice sound any different. I've just gotten, it's just changed, which is weird. I don't know what it is, but it's call it character development, I guess.
There was something that Slumber Reed said. Slumber Reed's just put out a video of what Slumber considers her best videos of the last 5,000, I think 5,000 or 500 videos.
Mm-hmm.
And she said it at the beginning of it. She made a very good point. She goes, you go and you listen to the ones when I first started, and I noticed that there was a learning in my voice. I had to get my voice to where I was comfortable with what I was saying while I was saying it for the narration. And now with my new voice, I've got to relearn that again. It's not something that just because I could do it with my old voice, I could do it. Now I have to do it again because I have to learn over again. I have to train my voice. It's not just about sitting down and reading in front of a microphone or acting in front of a microphone. It's actually training yourself and your voice to do those inflections, to get that emotion in it, to put in the right points and everything. And
Right.
I think it really is. And one of the things that Gothic Rose reminded me of before I started was mirrors. Put a mirror in front of you and act to the mirror. That way you can see what your face, and people can hear your facial expression in your voice.
Yeah, I remember there was one that I didn't, and I'm like, whenever I was doing the evil voice, I had this like big ass smile on my face, and I'm just like, I listen to that back, and I'm like, oh, I sound like I'm about to go on a fucking killing spree.
That's the best way to do it.
Psychotic asshole, and like snarky. I can do. It's like sad. It's like sad and happy, and like those are the two. I'm like, we're gonna try and see what happens here.
Yeah. I can't do angry. I really struggle to sound like angry or frustrated or whatever, and I feel like I have trouble with sounding scared, but then it usually comes out okay. Like while I'm doing it, it sounds forced and weird, but then when I listen back, I'm like, all right, I think that's probably fine. But anger is the one I can't do. I don't know how to do that one. I'm not an angry person. I'm not a confrontational person, you know?
Just think of something that makes you incredibly frustrated, and then just channel it.
So, I don't know how to do that.
Like really bad drivers who don't know how to use their turn signal. Just channel that rage.
Road rage. Infinite Psychosis. Which 13 ghosts? Just
the
asking.
One with Monk in it.
I like both of them. The first one I like for reasons that I don't like the second one, but the second one I like for reasons that are just to the second one, the new one. And Golden Fox with another question to everyone on the stream. What would you say to someone who is just starting up narrating? Trust me on the bomb. Thank you,
yes.
Treed, and thank you, Jensen.
Right. I got told that. Water, and also just shut up and do it, because my favorite thing is I can't do it because of this. I can't do it because of that. No, you can do it. Just shut up and do it. First couple videos are gonna suck. That's just hard fact of life. They're gonna suck. But like after you get a knack for it, and after you get over the initial like jitters, you'll be good.
It's a learning curve,
right? I got bullied. I got bullied into doing it, and look how well I'm doing.
Yeah, I have two pieces of advice that I normally say. The first of which being, we sort of talked about it earlier, but just like not expecting yourself to blow up or anything like that, because realistically, it's just easier. It's easier both mentally and just like emotionally. It's just easier to go in with the idea that sort of we talked about earlier, where it's like, I'm just doing this for me, and whatever happens, happens. And, if you get a ton of subscribers from it, that's a positive. But like, when I started, I was like, I'm not going to invest a ton of money in this. I'll invest enough time where it's not overwhelming my other things. I'm going to keep, going to college and just keeping my life on track and just keeping this as a hobby. And then, if something comes from it, then great. Because I think that that's a safe way to do it. And I like taking the safe route. And then my other piece of advice has always been to engage with the community, because that's one of the biggest things. I mean, I can't remember if this was on the stream or before, but PA and I were talking about how our channels blew up because people who we collabed with shouted us out, and like I did it with Dark Somnium, and they shouted us out, and that's how our subscribers came to us. A lot of my subscribers are from the Dark Somnium, from when he shouted me out. So, engaging with the community for your own benefit, but also just, I mean, it's also just fun. Like, there's so many fun people in this community.
There
Um,
really are.
And when we say engage, we're not saying like go beg them to work with them. No,
right.
actually like, engage them like you wouldn't just any other person. A lot of them are really cool, and you can form like really good friendships with them. And
Mhm.
that's kind of how I started. I originally wasn't a narrator when I joined the horror community. I was just a fan that watched the videos, and I interacted with I started interacting with some of the narrators, and I got like really good. I became really good friends with certain people, and I just kept expanding my circle, and then I started writing, and narrators started narrating my stories, and then I went into narrating, and so
Yeah, because you're writing them, why aren't you reading them? Just
yeah,
do it.
and so like that happened, and it was just a. And like once I started narrating, it was like my first I dropped my first video, and everyone was like my subscriber count went from like 100, and like it was already at like 111. It went from like that to like in like the 200s in like one night because everybody just flooded to my channel and subscribed. I'm like, that's awesome.
Exactly. Yeah, like it's just everybody's really supportive in my experience. And I started out knowing nobody. Like I was the opposite. I wasn't in the community at all when I started. I was just sort of doing it because I thought it would be fun. Um,
Yeah.
but the first thing that happened was I narrated I narrated someone from the creepypasta wikis, one of their stories. Like I think I got stories just by posting on their forum page and being like, "Hey, I don't have any videos out. I want to narrate. If anyone could give me some good stories, like that would be great." And a couple people commented being like, "Yeah, I can narrate some of our stuff." And so yeah, I narrated someone on the creepypasta wikis story, and they invited me into their Discord after they heard my video, and just going from there, like making social media, Discord and Twitter, and I have an Instagram. I don't use it, but just sort of the social media aspect of things. Like it seems kind of, when you're first starting out, it seems like it's kind of a thing you have to do, or like a thing that's solely a marketing tool. But I mean, it's really just a way for all the horror people to communicate with each other.
And
And
I'm really bad at it.
yeah, no, me too. Same. But like, you go on Twitter sometimes and there's people being like, "Hey, I'm gonna do a big collab, and let me know if you want to participate." And it's like that easy to
Yes.
join in on things. Like I've definitely done that before, where I've just been on Twitter, like just randomly scrolling through, and I see people asking for people who want to participate. Like I do that sometimes when it's like when I'm sort of doing it at the last minute. I'm like, "Hey, does any male or female narrators want to be on my video?" And
That's actually how I collabed with you because I saw that tweet,
exactly,
and I was like, yes, I want to collab.
exactly, yeah. Like it's just a very good way to get in on that. To sort of
I've apparently been collabing with the wrong people.
Well, see, the person, like I said, the person I got all my subscribers was whenever I read Creepy Ghost Stories, one story. He put it on his community tab, and
yes, that's what you said.
it was like, I'm like, holy damn.
Exactly. Yeah. Dark Somnium like put I think it was because you are my baby, but he put like my channel like in the very beginning of the video. Yeah, like I'm seeing people in the chat saying that they found me through Dark Somnium. Like he's definitely the biggest narrator I've collaborated with. But then I get people finding me from all kinds of different places. And it's just it's really beneficial if you are just starting out. Like just
Mhm.
you can direct message people, but you can also just sort of like just insert yourself into the community a little bit. Like there's Twitter group chats and Discord servers,
Yeah.
and there's all kinds of things you can join to get involved. So
And people notice that I mostly interact in DMs. There's a reason for that. I not great in large crowds. So
yeah,
even in like social media, like Discord, if there's multiple people talking in the chat room, I might say hi, and maybe contribute here and there to the conversation. But I have like social anxiety, and I'm always worried I might say something wrong. So if I need to talk to somebody about something like a collab or something, I'll just DM them. I'm like, hey, I don't do crowds, so can we talk about this in DM? And they're like, sure.
yeah, exactly.
Don't be afraid to DM them as long as you're being respectful.
Yeah.
Don't be sending inappropriate messages to people, because that's gonna get your ass in trouble quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. And definitely don't like, just in my opinion, don't go into messaging other narrators thinking that they're you're entitled to work with them, I guess. Just because if you were to be on their channel, like, it is definitely, you just got to treat them like respectfully, because
Yeah.
I do, like, there have been times where people have approached me like asking if they can work with me or send me stories and things like that, and sometimes I do have to respectfully like decline. And it's just it puts people off when you respond to that negatively, like, why won't you work with me, or why won't you read my story, or whatever, like,
Well,
when they just
sometimes-
respond rudely to that.
And sometimes it's not I won't, but I can't do it right now.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I want to know how emphasis psychosis does anything without a mic.
Right.
Me too.
But,
I was looking at that.
But I remember when I asked Vidith to collab, he's like, no, not right now. He's like, I'm just too busy. And I'm like, okay, cool, man. And then like months down the road, he's like, hey, did I owe you any audio? And I was like, bro, you don't owe me anything. But if we did talk about when you had some free time to want to collab, so if you're free and you want to hit me with that audio, I'll send you the story. And he's like, absolutely. But like when he said, do I owe you anything? I'm like, you don't owe me shit, man. But
Right.
I want to work with you. So if you want to do this, I'm down.
Exactly. Yeah. Because everybody's time is valuable. And like, there's the opposite advice where it's like, if a narrator's trampling all over you, your time is valuable too. You just gotta find a balance in interacting with them.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing
if you're a narrator, go ahead, Mia. Sorry.
I think the other thing is and I know this is one of the reasons why I've kind of slide away from doing collabs right now. I said that last 2 years ago around this time and ended up in 5 collabs before the end of the year. So we'll see what happens after this. But everybody wanted me to write something to read.
Right.
Don't go find yourself something. Write. We want something that you wrote. We want something that you wrote. And when you've got 7 people that want you to be in a collab with them, and all of them want something original, and you can't do the same thing on each one of them, that's a lot of work, people. And it's like, no. And yeah, the remake. I like what they did with the remake of 13 Ghosts, but yeah. And I was telling him to shut up and narrate his stories. And yes, that ruins your connotations all over the place.
But I remember, I'm pretty sure I did this with Lucy, because I usually do it with most people who I DM, male or female. But I'm like, hey, I hope I don't, like, I think my first DM was like, hey, how are you? I hope you don't mind me DMing you. Like, because I know some people don't they don't want you to bother them in DMs. So I always kind of just like, hey, I hope it's cool that I send you a DM, but I wanted to talk with you about something, and I don't do well in large situations.
Yeah.
Right.
Ray's got another one. Oh, first of all, Golden Fox says, thank you for the answers. It's given me a much wider scope of all of this. You're welcome. Anytime. Just, hey, we're all open to questions, guys. We don't mind answering questions.
That's what we're here for.
If you could collab with one horror antagonist, who would it be and why?
Like a horror
villain.
Okay. Ooh, that's a good question. I gotta think about this one. If one of you has an answer first.
Oh, I have an answer. I did it in my dreams when I was in high school.
Oh,
Freddy.
really? What is
Freddy Krueger.
it? Nice.
We went through the high school and took care of everybody that I ever had problems with.
Oh wow.
Oh my goodness.
Gosh, I don't know if I have a good answer for this one because again, I haven't seen a lot of the classic horror movies. No, okay. Point of clarification. Collab is in like, have like collab on a narration or what? Like what collabing on what? Because
Well, see, in my case, in the dream, I was actually killing people with him. I had my own glove and everything, but
you were in that movie.
yeah,
in that case.
I wasn't burned or anything, but I had a glove and he had his glove and
Freddy Krueger was hosting that collab then.
apparently,
I
yeah,
see.
I was in his dreams.
Exactly.
I'm thinking about it. But my personality, I need someone who's snarky and sarcastic, but also fucking very vicious and evil. I'm gonna have to go with the Leprechaun from the movie Leprechaun, because that guy made me, yeah, our Hannibal Lecter, but also the Leprechaun, because that guy made me, that fucking thing was just, he was just dancing around shining your shoe and then murdered you. It was just too good. It's like, let me shine your shoe, and then it kills him. I'm like, oh. You good, man. You good.
Collab on a narration.
I didn't know. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. We went to high school and took care of everyone. Mia 2021.
We're getting a lot of good quotes from this. Oh gosh. Here's the thing is I can't even remember what anyone sounds like, so
Yeah, Infinite Psychosis content is completely different, and if you haven't, go watch.
Viewer beware.
Jelly
Your
Bean
eyes
is going to
are in
collaborate
for
with
a
Jigsaw.
trip. Jigsaw will be another good one. But yeah, Hannibal Lecter would be a good one for me.
Why Jigsaw? Barry's asks.
I assume because of the voice, right?
Because Jigsaw is an insanely genius killer, but also technically he never killed anyone. He put them in the situation, and they chose they didn't get out of it themselves. Technically, he never directly murdered anybody with his own hands.
Well, neither did Charles Manson, but that's beside the point, right?
Hey, just
indirect killing is still killing.
Exactly.
Don't be mad because they're good at what they do.
He would sound like better on the mic. I thought that was Let's Read. I mean, aren't all of us that listen to Let's Read part of the Buttersock cult? I know I am.
I just love hearing that out of context.
I'm a full pizza. Now we need Joel to listen to this and hear me say something like that.
Exactly.
Because I've said it listening to him. I say, I'm a full pizza. I'm a full pizza. My granddaughter likes putting those little faces on top of her face. With the filters.
Oh, yeah.
And she's got one that's got a pizza. And so she had me do the pizza. And I'm a full pizza. I'm a full pizza. And she starts giggling and laughing. She really likes that. I don't know why. My granddaughter.
It's me, Mario.
She does that too. She does that too. She said, me, Mario. I'm raising this kid right. And she just got straight A's. Her report card.
That's just the cherry on top.
Yeah.
Now you just gotta let her watch Pinky and the Brain and Looney Tunes, and she'll be good to go.
Looney Tunes, we have been having her watch. Pinky and the Brain, I don't think I'll ever let her watch because I don't like Pinky and the Brain, but that's my own problem.
Sorry, I was just gonna say my mom did the same thing. I was never allowed to watch SpongeBob because she hated their voices.
I can't stand SpongeBob. but my daughter lets her watch it. So she called me up the other day and she was trying to do Squidward's voice, and I said, Kinsley, I don't like that thing. And she goes, oh, come on, Oma. Play
Oh,
with
actually,
me.
you know what? Screw Leprechaun and screw Hannibal Lecter. It's not a horror, but he might as well be. My collab would be with the Joker.
Ooh, interesting.
He might as well be horror.
What is your favorite story that you have narrated? Favorite story someone else has narrated?
I think we answered the favorite story we've narrated. Well, I mean, I did. I don't know about you two, but
My favorite story from someone else that I've narrated is the story from Ray, A Night's Watchman. The favorite story that I read of my own that I narrated was it's called Passing the Mantle, and
I love that story.
It's as far removed from horror technically as you can get, but it's literally about the Grim Reaper bringing his own replacement into the underworld and training him how to do the job, and then like he passes the mantle of Grim Reaper or death onto the new Grim Reaper.
Cool.
It's my favorite.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
it's probably my favorite story.
I got to hear some of it before it was actually read some of it before it was actually finished writing, and I love that story.
Yeah, I haven't read too many of my own stories. Like I love writing, but honestly, I don't write very much horror. I don't write very much in general, but when I do write, it's usually not horror. So I don't have very many horror things that I've read. But Bottom of the Ninth still my favorite of someone else's story that I've read and that I've narrated. And then I think the second question's like favorite narration by somebody else.
Yeah,
maybe. Okay. Oh, that one's hard. I feel like I've listened to so many.
I know.
By so many people.
While you're thinking about that, that's exactly why I don't like SpongeBob Ray. Which Joker, PA? And why?
And why? Probably the Joker. Heath Ledger's not Heath Ledger's Joker. God.
Heath Ledger's Joker.
No, the dude who played Luke Skywalker. I can't.
Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill's Joker, because that guy he was like the fun and sarcastic one. But also, if you combine Heath Ledger's Joker and Mark Hamill's Joker together, that's like the perfect Joker for me.
Yeah, I love it when he's walking out of the hospital and he's like, "I'm supposed to go bang. Didn't go bang. Why didn't go bang?"
What the hell? Turns around, looks at it.
Boom!
Boom!
That was it. And he
iconic.
Just leaves. Also, did you guys know that was completely ad-libbed? That was not supposed to happen.
Oh, really?
It was supposed to go boom, and then the freaking thing just didn't happen.
It was a real reaction because
That's so funny.
It was supposed to go, and he was supposed to keep going and not turn around. And he got to the point where it was supposed to have gone, and it hadn't gone. So he looked back, and that's where we got that whole section. It was really cool.
I love when you learn that very good scenes are actually ad-libbed. It just makes them better.
Yeah.
Did you know Spirit Voices? Because I know me and you were both like huge Supernatural fans. That the scene where he's like, "Fight the fairies, Sam! Fight the fairies!" That was all ad-lib. That was just Jensen being Jensen.
Oh my gosh, that's so good. I did not know that, but
and the whole when he tackles him, he's like, I'm just kidding. That was also just him being him.
That's so good. I love that.
We went a bit long today, basically because of the technical difficulties.
Mm-hmm.
What would happen if you cross Pinhead and any Joker?
You got Pinhead on steroids. And the world would probably end.
I watched Clive Barker did a couple of shorts way before he ever, back in 1973. So before there was a Pinhead movie. And I watched those shorts, and the guy who plays Pinhead, for some reason right now his name escapes me, but he's actually in them. And I sat there and I watched them. I'm going, I have no idea what I'm watching.
Because let's be honest, if you gave the Joker superpowers, like if you put the Joker in the MCU with powers, the Avengers would be screwed.
If you
Hands down, the Avengers would die.
You would have to put. If you gave the Joker actual superpowers, you would have to give Batman actual superpowers.
True.
Because if you think about it, neither one of them actually have superpowers.
No, it just give Joker powers, and you let him just go do his thing, and within like a week, the world would just be on fire.
Yeah, Batman could not stop him then.
And I mean, and I'm only giving him a week because we all know the Joker, once he realizes that he can do anything, it's gonna take like the first 6 days and just have some fun. He's not gonna do anything bad.
He will take his time.
Yeah, he will.
He's not doing anything drastic yet. He's gonna just take his sweet time, literally just destroying piece by piece. And then he's gonna be like, all right, I've had my fun. And just next thing you know, kaboom, the world implodes. And you're like, oh, well, we're all dead.
On brand.
So, PA, are you going to ask your questions?
So Supernatural for Sam or Dean?
Dean. I have to say Dean.
Off MC main characters. Bobby or who like Rufus. Who's your favorite like secondary character? Castiel.
Yeah, Castiel is probably my favorite. Although I really love Charlie too.
Oh, Charlie's awesome. But my still my favorite secondary character is Bobby. That guy never
Bobby's
failed
really
to make
good.
me laugh.
It's a hard decision to say secondary character.
No,
yeah.
There's another one that doesn't actually have superpowers. Iron Man didn't actually have superpowers. He
created them.
That gave
No,
him
he just had a super bank account.
and technically that's the same thing Batman is.
Right?
So
exactly. Being rich is his only superpower.
Yeah. And your other question.
So Rohan or Gondor?
That's not it.
I already asked her the alligator question.
No, not on air.
Yeah, I'll ask her after that. Are you a Lord of the Rings girl?
You know what? I just watched Lord of the Rings like recently in my life. Fairly recently. I didn't grow up on it. But
you should read the books.
I never read the books. No.
I would highly recommend them.
Yeah, I do want to at some point. I've read The Hobbit, actually. I read it for one of my English classes. And I really, really like The Hobbit. And I like Lord of the Rings too, but The Hobbit's probably my favorite. But yeah, so I guess I don't know if that counts as me being a Lord of the Rings girl, but
we'll give it to you.
All right, great. I've seen the movies at least 2 or 3 times because my friends have grown up on it and they made me watch them.
So the reason I asked Rohan and Gondor because Gondor is like the main city in like Lord of the Rings, and then you got Gondor, where all the horse lords come from.
I see. Okay. I'm
a Rohan boy. I like the horsies.
See, I failed the Lord of the Rings question, but at least I knew who Sam and Dean were.
Yeah, and Mia says we didn't ask this one on air, but I swear to God we did. The alligator question. How would the world fare if alligators could fly?
We did talk about that earlier, didn't we?
Yeah,
I don't remember. It may have been when we were having technical difficulties.
Cut out. Did it? Oh, okay. Okay. I'm trying to remember what I said. Oh, right. I said because you said it was some sort of hellscape, and I said we're already in a hellscape, and we're not doing great. So I don't know if like you don't need to introduce more predators to the to the mix that we're already in.
and then like they evolve further to where they have wings and they can freaking breathe fire, and we got dragons, and then out of nowhere, Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit and fucking Reign of Fire become educational material.
That's because
Yep.
The Hobbit was the first movie I could think of that had a dragon in it. So that's research now, is just learning to survive.
My first dragon movie was Pete's Dragon.
Just throw shiny objects at them and they'll get distracted and then run.
They all they all think that zombies are going to be the apocalypse we have to face, but you guys are completely overlooking dragons. I'm just saying.
There's a movie, I can't remember the name of it right. I want to say Ring of Fire, but it was about a dragons come back from under the earth's skin.
Reign of Fire.
Reign of Fire.
Christian Bale, Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
And I thought they had like another big name person.
Thank you, Golden Dragon, or Golden Dragon, Golden Fox, for being here. Have a good day.
Golden Dragon works too. That's close enough.
And Jellybean says, if you were home alone in the middle of the night and you heard a fart, would you laugh or be scared?
Yes.
My first instinct would be to be scared, I think. Especially because I used to share a room for pretty much my whole life. This is the for the past like year and a half is the only time where I haven't had to share a room with someone. So I think it would definitely take me a moment to process it. But since I am in a room alone, I definitely would be terrified.
So that brings to mind one of the iconic movies of the 70s, which is off of a urban legend, When a Stranger Calls, which I watched. And I learned so much about the background of the movie while I was watching it. I did not realize that the babysitter in the beginning of the movie was, now I can't think of her name. Carol. You're a witch. You're a witch. I'm not a witch. I'm your wife, and I don't know if I want to be that anymore. What's her name?
I'm terrible with names, so I can't help you.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's not coming up.
I just know.
There it is.
I just know if I was a babysitter and the phone rang and it came from somebody in my house, I'd be like, "Sorry, kid, I'm out. Bye. You gonna die."
You wouldn't have known it was inside the house until later. Carol Kane played the babysitter in the beginning of the movie and the mother at the end of the movie. Carol Kane is more known as a comedian. I did not realize that was her. The guy who played Kirk Duncan, which was the killer, Tony Beckley, was dying during the filming.
Oh, damn.
And he was totally in awe of Carol Kane. He's like, she's so talented. She's really so talented. And Colleen Dewhurst actually said, but so are we. And that's what got him to calm down. So, I mean, there was a lot of things in the background that I had no idea about. And I was just like, wow, this is amazing. The horrible stench that clings to the walls, infecting my region, is hard with its hard form throughout the floating thickness of it all. I knew that I was in trouble.
Eloquently narrated.
So we've never, Lucy's never heard the thing that I like to give Ray a shit about.
Oh.
Oh no.
I've heard this.
I gotta find it first.
The suspense.
Yeah, it brings new a new meaning to the word bring.
Here it is. So Ray decided in his story that I highly recommend to just in part 2 to completely fuck with me. The terrible tone tingling terrifyingly through the tense and torment of the storm, which continued to lash heavily above my head. That was just a
Wow.
little excerpt from part 2 of Ray's story, and I never get tired of giving him shit because I have dyslexia, and I just gotta know, right? Were there any words in the dictionary that begin with T that you didn't use after you in that sentence? Just gonna go.
That's
And the
so
rumbling,
funny.
and the rumbling sound, a strike of lightning from somewhere within my home. There was no rain, no flash, only the smell of rotten eggs. Dun dun
Oh my
dun.
gosh. This is what we get for having writers in the chat.
Right.
Okay, so we're gonna end this up. We could go on forever with all of our guests,
We
but
probably could, yeah.
we've been having a great time with you, and I'm so happy that you were able to make it today.
Oh yeah, no problem. Thanks so much for inviting me.
I am sorry about the technical difficulty.
It's okay.
As we say, live, you never know what's going to happen.
I know. I get them all the time. It's fine.
The rude tube gods, because they're rude today, decided to like fuck with our stream.
Well, they did it on the Horror Honeys too.
Bastards.
So, yeah.
Tragic.
Tragic. The Nevermore Collective is a collective of creators, and we do things on here that you don't do on your regular channel because you don't know if they'll fit. If you have something that you want a live stream or videos that you want to put on here and get involved with us, get one of us to get with you. Me, PA 42, As the Raven Dreams, Beautiful Nightmare, Creepy Clown Girl, Lady Raven. Okay, maybe not Lady Raven. Silver Threads, Midnight Bard, Filia Noctis, and you know, we'll get with you. We'll get you going. This is for all. This is for all of us to enjoy and to what?
I just read what Ray put. Again, the rumbling sounded, a strike of lightning from somewhere within my home. There was no rain, no flash, only the smell of rotten eggs.
See, he doesn't listen to what I say. You know, you realize
I was
that,
going to
right?
say that's the second time that's been narrated on this.
I know, but my brain completely just yeeted it out, and then I looked at it and I read it again, and it was funny all over.
You experienced it twice.
It was funny all over again.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, try that is a great name. You just gotta say.
That's really funny.
It was
I hate it, but it's really funny.
It was there. It was everywhere. The tight smell clouding the room, and it's a spectral essence. My nose twitched. My chest strained.
This is chaotic.
Basically, It was a fart.
I can't believe this is what we're ending on.
This is what our life has become.
Yep, this is what we're ending on. Basically,
we couldn't end on the dragons, really.
Yeah, we could end on dragons. Dragons fart too. There you go.
Oh no.
So, but remember, if you join us, once you've joined the collective, you can leave Nevermore.
Nevermore. Also, I fart.
can feel your energy when you're looking back at me. Through the crowd I see your eyes, they're like stars beneath the sky. Can we call upon our friends and dance until the end? Can we stay right here forever? 'Cause we're finally all together. Supposed to feel hopeless when you're surrounded. For me, it stops the hypnosis. My feet are finally grounded with you. You're supposed to feel hopeless when you're surrounded. For me, it stops the hypnosis. My feet are finally grounded with you. Stars beneath the sky. Can we call upon our friends and dance until the end? Can we stay right here forever? 'Cause we're finally all together. Supposed to feel hopeless when you're surrounded. For me, it stops the hypnosis. My feet are finally